Welcome into Montgomery and Company. I'm Renee Montgomery, and we got to crown her, okay? We have to crown the 2022 WNBA Champions, which is the Las Vegas Aces, and honestly, we've been crowning them all season. What do I mean by that? So let's just get into it. The Commissioner's Cup, check. Crown the Las Vegas Aces. They won that. Chelsea Gray, Commissioner's Cup MVP, check, crown that. Most improved, Jackie Young, check, add it to the list. Coach of the Year, check, Becky Hammond, crown her. MVP of the finals, check, Chelsea Gray, another one. Well deserved. And not to mention, last but of course not least, we got Asia Wilson, who was the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the 2022 WNBA season. Crown her. So when we're crowning the Las Vegas Aces, we got to crown all the excellence that is them. And honestly, when you say all of those different type of accolades, we all know that they had a lot of number one picks on the team. But that's not easy to have all those number one picks play together. So the same breath that we're saying in the sense of they had a lot of weapons, we also know that that doesn't make sure that that's a championship caliber team. But shouts to Becky Hammond, shouts to the leadership that we've seen from Asia Wilson as well as Chelsea Gray and all of the other people over there that they made sure that it didn't matter how much talent they had. They made sure that they found a way to win. And shouts to the Connecticut Sun as well, because I enjoyed the games. Like I enjoyed it. It was a pound for pound heavyweight fight. And we enjoyed every second of it as good as advertised. Crown them. Okay. That's the Las Vegas Aces. And I can't wait to see their epic turn up in Vegas and their parade. Can't wait to see all of it, everything. Also, in sports basketball news, the NBA and the MVP are in serious talks on new items for potential collective bargaining agreements. One of the things that they're discussing that has a lot of people talking is that the draft age eligibility can go from 19 to possibly 18, which would mean the return of high school to NBA. Now, if you guys can remember, there were some very big names. LeBron James was high school to NBA, never, do not pass college, do not collect 200. They skipped that part. I can remember J.R. Smith. He was one of those that straight from high school to the NBA. And so they're starting to talk about that again, bringing that to the fold. And it's just going to be, there's going to also be talking about with the Ben Simmons situation that came to the front. We all realized that there were no rules explaining to what happens if someone is suffering from mental health injury. I'll just call it that way because we know how physical injuries are managed. Okay, there's a certain time frame. There's a certain way we go about it. What happens when somebody is dealing with mental health struggles? Well, that's one of the things that's also going to be talked about when they're talking about the potential collective bargaining agreement, which we call a CBA. So a lot of news happening right now. A lot of things happening. The end of the WNBA season means that that's the beginning of the NBA season is around the corner, the beginning of college sports, college basketball, all of that. Football season is upon us. We're in the thick of things. And boy, oh boy, our Falcons. Boy, oh boy. I'm just saying, I'm going to rise up till the wheels fall off. But boy, oh boy, I understand. Okay, let's go. Okay. We back in the newsroom, the MoCo Newsroom. In case you don't know, we bring articles that we saw that we thought were interesting this past week. There's always a lot going on. So each host brings their own topic to the table. Who's starting us out this week?
Well, I guess I can start us out. I'll start us out. Since we're going to talk about this week, I saw something that was kind of disturbing, but it shouldn't be shocking. And basically that these all these streaming services and this TV, they're going down. They're going down hard.
Uh-oh.
They are going down hard.
Wait, what do you mean going down?
It says if you work, and this is from the Business Journal, it says if you work in film and TV, get ready for layoffs. Ooh. Because basically all these big name filming productions are laying people off in mass amounts because of streaming, because of less streaming, because of less.
So are people streaming less?
Well, people aren't streaming less. I think that what's happening now is, and it says that basically when Netflix and all these other companies they set up that you have a profile, and the profile was actually shareable. So the problem is now is ringing in the shareable profiles.
Okay.
So they're not making as much money because if they had required each IP to have a their own account, they probably would have made a whole lot more money. But basically, they're saying that just because of the streaming, their shares were down 61%. And that's huge. 61%. Warner Brothers was down 48%.
What?
Comcast is down 32%. Disney's down 29%. And Paramount was down 24%. So
it's crazy because, like, I mean, I was going to say, I'd be shocked to hear that people are streaming less, but I remember when they first tried to threaten that they were going to make your account not shareable, and I saw Twitter throw like a literal tantrum. Like, if there was a way to throw a tantrum that was the most professional way, the Twitterverse as a whole, I saw them tweeting at Netflix, if you do this, it's over at Netflix, like hashtag Netflix, we're leaving. So I remember when Netflix proposed the idea, it was probably like a month and a half ago or something, and Twitter went crazy, like, nah. So they are really hurting as far as stream-wise.
Yeah. I mean, because honestly, I have 6 people in my house, and we literally, me and my husband share one, but my 4 kids have their own. Each of them have their own profile.
And I know they done gave the password out to their girlfriends.
Probably. They at college sharing it. They, whoever's is not working, they like, oh, mine's not working. Oh yeah, log into mine. So it's like they're not getting that revenue of people actually, actually signing up and getting new signups. And so it's not just hurting them, it's hurting Comcast too, because with more streaming people, there's less internet. I mean, there's less like television production.
Cable.
So basically cable is taking a hit too, because right now reality TV shows are everything. No one really watches shows unless they're on Netflix, Hulu, unless they're on these streaming apps. Right. And so they're losing the money. So, my mother-in-law, she lives by cable, but these new kids, my kids,
they live by YouTube.
They live by YouTube. They live by Hulu. They live by Netflix. They don't necessarily need a Comcast, a Verizon for the service. They only need them for the internet. All they need is the internet. That access to the internet is everything. So basically, they're saying,
go ahead.
Oh no, that's it. So that's what's happening.
We're in the age of content creation. I feel like that's probably one of the problems too. There's so much content, so many platforms out there. Like people are creating their own content on socials, on YouTube, like you said. Look at what's the little kid that everybody loves, Ryan.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Like he has a whole empire now. He has apps, he has games, he has and it just started off with just him reviewing and making his own content on YouTube with his parents. So it's like if people are realizing that they can make their own channels and their own products and their own empire on their own, and I feel like that's probably part of the problem.
No, that's a good point. There's so much content. Like, so you were talking about so even start with cable. There's cable TV, which Cole, like you said, Miss Young, your mother-in-law, like that's more of a different generation. They like Snook and them. They use streaming, but they also were very cable-y. Then there's streaming, which is the Hulus, the Netflixes of the world. That's kind of like where I live. Like as soon as I turn on the TV, I either go to Hulu. I actually always go to Hulu. I want to see what's on live, what sporting event. Pretty much sporting events are like what you got to watch live pretty much. Mm-hmm. Other than that, even like, House of Dragons, Apple TV, the shows that I watch, Billions, HBO, like I'm all the way streaming apps. But then there's a whole nother layer after that. And then that's the YouTubes of the world, the digital contents of the uninterrupted, like that world of people, the boardroom, the players TV. Like there's so many layers of content that, like as a viewer, you got your pick of the litter.
Well, and one last thing before we, hop to another news thing. Let me tell you the biggest upset that happened this last week, and Shannon was going crazy, and I saw it all over my timeline. So Amazon has Thursday Night Football.
Oh, yes. Baby.
And so that's usually a cable thing where regardless of where you could see it, you could always see it on cable.
Yep.
And so Amazon has it. People have lost their minds about that, because then what it forced people to do was give Amazon some more money. So if you didn't have an Amazon account, you want to see these Thursday night games, you got an Amazon account now. So
good, Amazon's Cole. I'm so glad you brought that up because yes, babe, Amazon, boy, I tell you now, Amazon,
not losing any money. Their shares look real good.
I'm gonna tell you, you read all of them drops. I'm gonna tell you who ain't dropping. Even though Jeff Bezos and somebody else, lost 18 billion in one day. But but Amazon, Amazon. I saw these same tweets. People actually were tweeting me. I wonder what y'all think when y'all tweet me to complain about something. Like I could tell Amazon, but
Go tell Jeff,
people,
Renee.
huh?
We know you know Jeff.
Like they thought I'm cool with, you know what I'm
We
saying? I'm
know
cool with
you
the
know
brand,
Jeff.
but people literally were tweeting me saying this Thursday night football situation is ridiculous. Like that's something that should have never been touched. And they telling me like
Call
I'm
the
supposed to do something.
commissioner.
The same thing happened with the Hawks. Locally, you couldn't watch the Atlanta Hawks locally, and I was on Bally Sports covering it, and people were writing me like, Bally Sports has to do something different. We don't have this, that, and the third. So you're starting to see it trickle down where people are like, okay, some things are supposed to be sacred almost.
Cable and football was supposed to be sacred. And I'm not gonna lie, the cable companies took a nasty hit on Thursdays now, because that,
Definitely.
you know, as far as
Definitely.
their money in there and their advertising power, that's done for Thursday nights now with football season going on. So
That's facts. Thank you for adding that
Absolutely.
nugget. Serena, what you got?
Okay, so we all have heard of the tragic death of PNB Rock, who he got shot and killed last Monday, outside of Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in LA. And the authorities are investigating if the social post had anything to do with that. So his girlfriend, while she was there, and him too, there was some revelations afterwards that actually said that he posted something when from the location before, he in the parking lot or something like that, and then his girlfriend posted something else as well, and after that they believe that he was targeted and robbed and killed after that Instagram post. So there's been a lot of talk online saying, from a lot of celebrities have weighed in. Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, a lot of people have weighed in on saying, have we not learned not to post our locations when we're out, especially as rappers, as celebrities, as whatever, people who are in the limelight? Why are you still posting your location? Have we not learned from Pop Smoke what happened to Pop Smoke in the same city of Los Angeles? So I just, the story just is a very sad story, but also is also sad just how, people are actually, whether the Instagram had anything to do with that. There's been a lot of cyberbullying online to, against his girlfriend for posting it and things like that. So I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this whole story.
Well, Sam, this all falls in line with, I was just speaking with Renee the other day about a friend of mine with social media, how we are opening ourselves up for a lot of hacking and intrusive things happening with our bank accounts and our personal lives or whatever. Now this, and I've told them before, don't post any vacation pictures till I get back home, because I didn't want anyone to realize that I wasn't there. But even with social media, posting about, like just happened with us, and I thought about it when it was happening. Shay's birthday, my middle daughter's birthday, was yesterday. So all over.
Happy birthday, Shay!
Yes.
Yeah, and we love Shay. We're elated about it. We wanted to give her all the best birthday wishes we could, but we put up there that she was 40 years old, and that's what the woman said, that whatever this company was that did the investigation, she got hacked because they told her happy something birthday.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's Googleable. I don't know how to explain it, but there's a lot of things that people will be able to find out on Google. How old Shay is, I think that if somebody really wanted to hack Shay, they could find out her 40th birthday.
I'm just saying, they said we put too much information out there.
But to your point about the too much information, I understand that.
And I've always said, even people who aren't celebrities, people are out there like at the Roadhouse eating something, and they're telling where they're at currently, which means you're not at home, which means there's someone in the neighborhood or somebody who knows somebody is like scouring the neighborhood. They're like, oh, I know they're not home because they just not posted. It opens you up to being robbed and being people vandalizing your home, getting into your house, doing other things, because they know exactly where you are at that moment. So there's no threat, they think, of you being there to catch them in the act. So that's why I said,
that's a good point, Cole, because
that's another thing is people tell too much.
Because there's a lot of home invasions going on. I don't know if people have been seeing the news, but there's a lot of celebrities that have had their homes breaking into. Most recently, Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber, someone tried to break into their home, but his security guard caught them and chased them on foot. I know some people here in Atlanta who said that their places have been broken into, some athletes pretty much who said that their homes have been broken into. So to that point of almost not saying your location where you are out, it works both ways. You don't want people to be where you are out, but to that point, you also don't want them to know that you're not home as well. It's just tough though, because I mean, like, obviously there's always crime and there's going to always be that situation, but for some reason, it feels like things are just happening so frequently right now. It could be a sign of the times in a sense of a lot of people are struggling. You know, when people start to struggle, people turn to crime, which is why you see in areas that don't have a lot of income or low income areas, you see a lot of crime. A lot of people call that the hood or the ghetto. But look what happens when crime spreads. You know, it's not just happening in these certain areas anymore. People are getting home invasions in areas here in Buckhead. And so you can't talk about the people in the area anymore or the problem, because that's what tried to happen a lot of times when you talk about when they use terms like the ghetto, and I'm putting air quotes in case you're listening to this and can't hear. A lot of times when people's backs are against the wall, they resort to crime. Not saying it's right, but we're in a tough time financially.
That's right. Well, I do want to say this. I feel sorry for these chicken and waffle franchises, because when anything ever goes down, it's always is some type of chicken and waffles joint. I know. I'm telling you, every time you see all these videos online,
that's where, like, look,
they open till 5 in the morning, and people are fighting at 5 in the morning. These chicken and waffle spots, I know they're taking a hit, because every time you turn around, it's like, oh, they was at the chicken and waffle spot, and it was a big blow up or a shooting.
Spots that are
it's the late night spot. So poor
that
chicken
will draw you in, though. It's a strong.
Listen, my daddy eats fried chicken every single day of his life. What were you going to say, Serena?
What were you going to say?
No, for real though. I mean, I think you do have a point. You know, the late night spots. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about LA. I mean, LA is not new to crime. You know, like this has been going on for before we were even born. You know, so even rappers like Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg, they weighed in and they said, "Hey, that's why we don't wear chains when we go out into the streets. We don't wear all that jewelry, because the streets are real. Like the streets are no joke to whether you're in Buckhead, whether you're in Beverly Hills, whether you're in West Hollywood, whatever. You know, crime exists everywhere. So don't make yourself a target, especially if you are in the limelight." You know what I'm saying?
And that was Ice-T. And Ice-T ain't no punk. He was like, hey, look, I don't even wear my stuff out in public. So,
no, that's a good point.
Thank you for that, Cole. That was Ice-T, yes.
No, and that's a good point. And it's like, you know, there's times to be, it's almost like you got to pick when you want to be flashy, because certain times are maybe not the time. Like if you're on stage performing in front of a lot of people, and this just is random, but man, I hope quick recovery to Post Malone. He took a nasty fall on stage, broke a few ribs, came out and finished the show, I believe. But when you're on stage, that's the time to rock all your chains. Look, somebody said I wear every single chain, even when I'm in the house. I think that was Drake. Look, if you in the crib, wear all your chains, baby, okay? But if you're walking around town, especially like just in public establishments, that's a good point. Learn from the OGs. Maybe not wear your chains to certain locations, because people, the streets don't care.
And don't post your locations.
Don't post your locations.
In real time.
In real time. Snook, what you got? What you bringing to the newsroom?
Well, you know, being a mom, and there's been so much in the news, first of all, about the royal family and the passing of the Queen. And then with the WNBA finals, kind of had me pretty much tied up with the news and everything. But I did find an article that kind of caught my interest, because I'm a mom and I'm always interested. I know how I struggled naming my children. And
you did?
I did. I struggled naming my children.
What about, okay, so I want to hear about this. Sorry, I know we're in the newsroom, but what did you struggle with? Well, I know I was going to be Ronnie Jr. I was supposed to be a boy, y'all. So I know that my name was chosen.
You were the easy one.
Yeah, your name was chosen between midnight maybe and 3 a.m. when your dad called the hospital and told me I better not put his name on your birth certificate.
You were still gonna name me Ronnie, even though I was a girl.
He just wanted to make sure that I understood that. You know, after being under anesthesia and a whole lot of other stuff, he just wanted to make sure I understood that. Don't put that name on the birth.
Don't
certificate.
make a mistake and put it on.
Wow.
What about Shay?
So Nashay, I struggled with, because Nicole. Well, let me just start at the beginning. Nicole is named after a soap opera character that I love.
I didn't know this. Who? The Young and the Restless?
Knew it.
No, it was the Guiding Light.
Guiding Light. That's right.
Oh
the
yeah,
Guiding Light. There was a couple on there, Nicole, and I forget the gentleman. See, I forget the gentleman's name.
You mean to tell me you named her off of a soap opera?
Yes,
she
a
did.
nice, statuesque beautiful personality person, and she made that name look good. Nicole.
Okay, and then what about Nisha?
So Nisha's really actually named after a friend of mine from way back. I always liked her name, Nisha Strother, Miss Strother. Y'all know Miss Strother. She has a middle daughter named Nisha as well. And I just
spelled the same?
That name. Spelled exact. That's where I got it from.
Wow, shocking.
Spelled exactly the same. And actually, before the doctor made the mistake and told me that you were going to be a boy, your name was going to be Nichelle, after the Star Trek lady. Nichelle that passed away.
Nichelle that passed away from the Star Trek, the one whose ashes went into outer space.
Lieutenant Uhura.
You was better off calling me Lieutenant rather than Nichelle. What? This is scary. I'm glad that look, it don't make no mistakes. Life don't make mistakes, because I just don't feel Nichelle doesn't feel right for me.
See, 3 years most people name if they start with a letter. They keep through with all the kids in the same letter. So
yeah, I'm just like very different than the group. Nisha, Nicole, Renee. First of all, Nicole.
They're all French.
Huh?
They're all French.
Okay, so you went the French route. Okay, sorry to get back to your MoCo newsroom. Sorry for that side note. I was trying to learn a little family history.
Okay. So there was an article, and according to the world's largest baby name website, which is called Namesake. I didn't even know this was out here. So if any of you ladies are thinking about having a baby and want to name your baby,
we should have told this for Put. We got Put.
Hopefully she'll watch the episode. We'll tag her and ask her to check it out.
I like that.
Okay. But Nameberry had 16 names that they saw at least a 50% rise in over the past 16 months. In 6 months, I'm sorry. And so here are the names. I thought you all would
read them out. Give me 16 of them.
Number one, what would you think with everything that's going on today? The first name would be
Jalen.
Remember what I said when I beginning? I'm inundated with all the news about
Elizabeth.
No, these are different now. Remember,
Kamala.
Royal.
Oh,
I know you lying. What is that?
Royal. Royal. Number 2 was Styles. I don't know where that one came from.
Like Harry Styles?
Stiles. Styles.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Nori. Mazikeen. Mazikeen. Anybody ever heard of? I've never heard of a Mazikeen.
And they said these names have went up 50%?
Yes. Wow. Jupiter.
Oh, Jupiter.
Ooh, I don't know, Cole. Jupiter kind of sticking with me.
Hyacinths. Xerxes. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right.
Xerxes. Now that reminds me of that movie.
Zerxes. Is that how you pronounce it?
I think that's like from Greek mythology or something.
Yes, that's on the 300 show. Cole can't take any of these names. Cool, Snooki.
The movie 300. That's Sparta.
Cassiopeia.
Look, she can't even pronounce the name.
Cassiopeia. I hope none of these people are in my class. I'm so happy about that, because I had to call the roll with these names. They're awful.
You imagine
anyway.
that's what you sound like.
Okay,
Sparrow.
Okay. Cole is praying for these names.
Jack
okay,
Sparrow.
You know what? Come on, Sparrow. What else you got?
Okay, number 10 is Phineas.
Ooh, Phineas and Herb.
Now, number 11, I really like this one. Aphrodite.
Ooh, okay. That's a winner right there. That's a winner right there.
Greek is a theme right now.
Number 12, Ziggy.
Oh, let's get Ziggy with it.
That's Jiggy with it, and it's Ziggy Marley. Ziggy Marley. Renee.
Okay, number 13 is Calypso.
Ooh, okay. That reminds me of Kaleidoscope Dreams. Come on, Miguel. Okay.
Number 14, Wednesday.
Oh, Addams Family.
That's great. Come on,
and that's
the Addams Family.
Yeah. And then number 15 is Draco.
Come
on, Aubrey Graham
from Harry Potter.
Oh, I thought it was for Aubrey Graham Drake.
No, she said Draco.
Draco. Okay, so anyway, this company's been around for a while. And as I said, what they do is they evaluate, I guess, from social media, the names that people are indicating that are, ones that they like a lot. And so these are the names that have increased 50% in the last 6 months.
Wow. I think that with a name like Aphrodite, you gotta have a lot of self-confidence growing up.
Right, Royal. Come through, Jupiter and Royal.
Let me just tell you, out of that whole list, actually, if you want to know my opinion, my favorite was Royal. That was the best one.
Royal
I thought.
was cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that was the
Wow.
best one. Royal,
Jupiter
I
was
like
kind of
that.
cute too.
I hated that.
Wow. Well, you know
I hated
what?
that. You know, Jupiter just had a moon crash into it not too long ago. It lost one of its moons and now it's tilted. So now
fun
Jupiter's looking
fact. I like
crazy.
that.
Yeah. So no. I just.
Wow. Maybe that's why. And you know what? I wanted to say something today. Happy Fall Equinox Day. While we're giving news, Thursday starts the first day of fall, but it also has a record high here in Atlanta, 94 degrees today. The high for today, well, the high for the first day of fall in Atlanta is 95. So fall is here, but the weather is not. Happy Fall Equinox. And that brings me to when we were talking about names. How do y'all like the name Mr. Beast? Okay? For
Mr.
some
Beast.
names. You better let Mr. Beast talk nice to you, because
I just imagine like a little buff baby or something. Like, I don't know, like Mr. Beast.
Baby Beast. Okay, so Forbes, we're keeping on this line. We talked about the Forbes top athletes and what they earn. So Forbes has released the top creators of 2022, and it's based on your 2021 earnings. Just like they do taxes, they tally up how much you made over the year, and then they release it. But their top creators aren't just based on how much money they made. There's all kinds of different things, your following, your engagement. You got to remember, these are creators. So there's all kinds of different factors. Go to Forbes.com if you want to check out what the requirements are. But basically, they released their list, and I'm going to go through the top 10 creators list. I'm talking about these people are making money, starting with Mr. Beast. His real name is Jimmy Donaldson. And Mr. Beast has a total of 162 million followers, 162. So I want you guys to know that he making money. How much money in 2021? 54 million from Mr. Beast. So he said stunts like spending 50 hours buried alive and attempting starvation for 30 days were well worth that $54 million net. He has very elaborate stunts that he does, Mr. Beast. And I remember he did a Squid Games reenactment. I mean, the guy goes big, but he also wins big. He has his own burger joint, Mr. Beast Burgers, where he shut down a whole mall. Like, I'm talking about, this man is making money. Started out as a creator, now he here.
Oh. Mr. Beast. So that's Mr. Beast.
So that's Mr. Beast. And I'm going to, so everybody's like, look,
You know
they didn't know.
You know what stuck out
Did
to
y'all know
me?
Mr. Beast beforehand?
No, I did not. I heard about
I was
the
thinking
burger
about
joint.
FCF Beast.
I knew that would have been my closest too.
That's who I was
But
thinking about too, Sam. We
the,
think alike
the burger
always.
thing I had heard about, but the starvation thing just makes me think. I just cannot.
It makes us think that we could do that. Couldn't
No,
we,
I
Nikki?
can't. I can.
For $1 million, Cole, you wouldn't starve yourself for 30 days. $1 million.
Absolutely not.
Nuh-uh. You
Absolutely
can
not.
say.
Oh, absolutely not.
Y'all gotta check on me because after them
listen,
30 days.
Listen,
yeah,
I'm gonna tell
me
you why
too.
I say I cannot do it, because I'm a snacker. See,
You
the thing
are.
is, I don't eat meals, but I might eat food that might be of a meal, but it's a snack amount, and I do it like at different times of the day.
Same.
I would just forget because I wouldn't be like I'm waiting for the next meal. I could be doing something and just go and grab something and start eating.
Oh, but what if
It's
there
all
was no
done.
food available? They just take it all out and you can't do it.
Well, then I need to be lightly sedated. I need to be sedated for 30 days for that to happen, because I don't think that I would probably lose my mind. I'm a food. I
You
love
need to watch
food.
Naked
I'm
and
foodie.
Afraid.
Oh, yeah, baby. Naked and Afraid. They just went about 27 days before they got a little rat to eat. So that's our show. But I'm going to go on to the next one. Number 2 on the top creator list is Charlie D'Amelio, friend of the family. Shouts to Charlie and the D'Amelio family. Her dad is a former Yukon Husky, so we talk a lot online. Shouts to
I saw
the
where he
fam.
hit you up the other day.
Yeah, so shouts to our extended Husky family over there, the D'Amelios. She's number 2, raking in 17.5 million with her 203 million following.
And she's
Then
about to be on Dancing with the Stars.
she's about to be on Dancing with the Stars. Then at
Okay.
number 3, we have Alexandra Cooper earning $20 million a year with 3.6 million followers. Number 4, we have Elliot who is also known as, his account is called FUCK Jerry. So you might have seen his account.
Wow. Oh, I think I have actually.
It's a very
Yes.
famous account.
Yes.
It shows the most entertaining internet content is what they call themselves. He makes $30 million a year. So as you guys can see, the amount you make doesn't get your earning. Your earning is based on a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Number 5, 12 is $12 million a year. Emma Chamberlain. She has 27 million followers and she has one of the highest engagement rates. So that's why she's so high on the list, because when she posts something, basically people lose their mind. And so she dropped out of high school before even tasting fame and is known for her wit and deadpan humor. So it's very interesting how they rated these people. I think that's
27
interesting in
million people.
itself. Yeah. And
How
I'm just
do
only
you
going to do
amass that many people to sit and just watch you? You know what? I'm not a paranoid person, and I don't get like really anxiety. I'm not like anxiety ridden. That would give me anxiety. Has that many people just looking?
Wow, yeah. Like
Because-
they built,
Yeah.
and a lot of these creators, like they built their following like just from the ground up, like just started out randomly doing videos. Her one of the people, number 6 on the list, Huda, and I don't want to say her last name wrong, but Huda Catton, she makes $13 million a year with 63 million followers. Okay, and so she's Iraqi-born parents living in a mostly
she's
white
the
Baptist
one-
neighborhood. You know who that is,
I
right?
know who that one is. Now that one, see, that's the first one I know. I know who that one is.
I do
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, she
I
was
do too.
frequently bullied for her ethnicity and she always felt like a misfit. And now, boom, pull up on them, Huda, okay? With your 13 million,
I
number
love it.
6 on the list. Number 7 is Rhett and Link. They made 30 million a year. And they met in 1984 during the first grade detention, and they've been best friends ever since. And they do comedic sketches starting from a long time
I have to
ago.
look
So
these people
built it
up.
organically, making 11 million a year. Cobby Lane makes 10 million a year. He's number 8. And this guy right here, now, he has, I want you guys like 231 million followers.
Wow.
231
That's
million. And I
insane.
actually read an article on him because he was on the Forbes 30 under 30 list for European honorees. And he said that, he has 146 million followers on TikTok and he wants to get out of like brands and different campaigns like that. And he wants to go to TV. So, Cobby, we wish you the best of
Why?
luck. Because he wants to hit
Why?
the big screen.
He need to check that out because they flopping over there. He need to stay where he at. He need to stay where he's at.
He ain't gonna make no money like
Oh,
that
he
for
ain't gonna
a
make no money over
number,
there.
a
Yes.
number,
Yes, he need to stay where he's at. He's doing better than the people in Hollywood. They probably trying to get over there with him.
That's hilarious. And then coming in number 9, Addison Rae, Shorty the baddest. Okay, so you hear about her in songs all the time. I remember when Junior randomly had a crush on her and I didn't even know he knew who she was. 8.5 million a year. She has 133 million followers. We know all about Addison Rae and her 88 million TikTok following. So there's that. TikTok, as you can see, is the trend here. A lot of TikTokers making a lot of money. And last but not least, to crack the top 10, we have our guy, Jake Paul. He's not really our guy, but he's in the sports world because he's in the boxing world. But 45 million a year, 57 million followers, and Jake Paul has made millions switching from a prankster who, started with YouTube, and he did have a lot of controversial things that got him started. Like one of those this was not controversial, but this was also just wild. I remember when he ate Icy Hot, like that was a thing. I was like, what is happening and why? But I'm sure things like that get clicks. And then, as we know, he transferred over and became a boxer and an MMA fighter, and now he's making millions and millions of dollars doing that. So that rounds out the top 10 Forbes creators of
Renee,
2022.
You should have did the next one, number 11.
Who is that?
Renee Montgomery.
Snook. Thank you. You see what I'm saying? Look at my snooker booker. Look at my snooker booker. What I'm saying is, I want to be on that list one day. They making M's after their names for the content they put out online. That is literally goals. If you guys don't know, we already have a production company, Think Tank Productions. So we like to put out content. We like to put out content that has, everybody thinks like there's a lot of content out there. So it's pretty much your preference. So we like to have humor. We like to be fun. We like to have representation, all of those things. So yeah, Snook, that's goals to be on a top creator list for Forbes one year. I would love to do that.
Hey, you coming. You coming.
So let's get it started then. Deja Kelly, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Okay, she's at the gym right now. And if you guys don't know who Deja Kelly is, she's an All-American, McDonald's All-American in high school. She's all ACC in college, and she plays for the University of North Carolina. And I'm curious because there's a couple of teams, Deja, that like y'all kind of got a cheat code. I think Oregon, because they get all the dope gear, Oregon does. And then I think UNC is up there in the sense of like merch and gear. So is it like, y'all know y'all's gear lit, right? Welcome to the show, Deja, by the way. This is my Snook, my sister Cole. You know Serena. Welcome to Montgomery & Co.
Hello, thank you for having me. Nice seeing all of y'all.
Yeah, so talk about just being the recipient of just the merch. I'll just call all the good merch.
It is so dope. Literally, like just being able to be like the top of like the Jordan brand schools. Obviously, we're like the blueprint we like to call ourselves. People don't like that too much, but it is what it is. But just being able to be the recipient of all the gear, all of the exclusive Jordans, getting them before they come out to anybody else, getting the exclusive PEs. I think that's like super dope. I know. So being able to have all that in my closet, in my locker is like, excuse me.
Right. Go brush your shoulders off.
And you work hard for that, so you got to be proud of.
Exactly. And in the world of name, image, and likeness, I think it's dope because I don't know if people follow you on social media, but you have a great platform. I think you show your sense of style, you show your fashion sense, and it don't hurt that you got some heat in the closet like that. In that same sense, you also have some big deals, and we talk a lot about name, image, and likeness. You know, I've talked to Paige Beckers and multiple other people, but you have deals with Beats by Dre, Dunkin' Donuts, Outback Steakhouse, which used to be my favorite restaurant when we were at UConn. So just talk about now, like the business brand that is Deja Kelly as well as the Hooper.
Yeah, the business brand has definitely grown so much within just the past year. So it's been really cool just seeing that whole process and seeing kind of just me building it from the ground up. I kind of focused on building my brand in high school. My mom has really focused on kind of just teaching me the ways about the business side and really just carrying myself as a brand and just in a different way, just knowing that basketball would not last forever. So I needed to, find out what I liked and what I wanted to really value off the court. Just doing that and already having like that foundation coming to college before even knowing NIL was going to happen while I was still in school. It's been really helpful just being able to have that knowledge and have that foundation because it kind of just took off from there once NIL happened. And I kind of already had kind of some knowledge about how it was going to go and how I wanted to go about NIL. So it's been working out pretty well so far.
That's dope. That's so wonderful. Y'all were already kind of getting ready. And that's another thing, when you're in the women's basketball world, you do know that you're going to have a different life after sports. You're not going to make enough money during your career. So your mom was like, oh no, baby, we going to get this stuff together.
Exactly.
Right now.
She was like, you are going to be set. Okay.
I love that.
I do too. That's nice.
And so I'm curious with all those different brands, I also know that there's give back components. And so I know like with Dunkin' Donuts, they donated $5,000 on your behalf. And so just as far as certain brands are concerned, are you targeting ones that align? Like, are there certain brands that you was like, for instance, Beats by Dre, I feel like is every Hooper's dream. Like, come on. Like, I mean, like, I feel like that's the Hooper's one. Yes. So are there ones that you like targeted right out the gate?
Yeah, I would say so. Just kind of finding brands that, aligned with my values and that kind of would represent what I wanted to allow, like what I wanted to give back to. And they all like had an agreement with what I kind of told them and what like the conversations we had. So like, for example, with Duncan, I wanted to give back to the Single Mothers Foundation, the Bell Cares Foundation out here. And they were completely willing. They thought it was a great idea and they were very quick to say yes. So there was no issue there. Nice. So I think that's really special to be able to, partner with brands like that.
So you chose the charities or yes. the place. Wow. That's
I love
that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So being able to partner with brands like that, that'll, really believe what I believe in as well. And really just care about what I care about as a person. And not just on the basketball side. So I thought that was really important. And obviously down the list with when I had my Deja Kelly camp, all my brands really donated in some way. just because, it's about things way bigger than basketball, way bigger than me. Just it's about growing the younger generation. So I think
and you are the younger generation. This is what I'm like.
You are the younger generation, right?
Girl, I love to see it though, because the athletic world is so advanced. Like the things that I started doing in 2019, 2018, you're already doing. You already have the Deja Kelly camp. Like I remember when I was a pro and I had my first camp in West Virginia, and that was like a big deal. I love that your brands, you're like, hey, if you're gonna get on this journey, you got to get all of me, the community me, and everything like that.
Right, exactly.
I also know that you said that you want to get into like the broadcast space and different things. And so for that reason, you are our WNBA analyst. What other person to be our WNBA analyst than a hooper that's playing the game, that watches the WNBA and understands the game? So I wanted to get some of your thoughts on the game. First of all, we had some people make some choices. I think whose team lost, whose team won, real quick. We made predictions, Deja Kelly. They didn't want me to bring it up, but we made some predictions.
I think I chose the Aces from the end of the postseason.
So I've been rolling with them from jump. Okay.
So she was
I was with Connecticut.
follower.
I was Connecticut, and my team lost. I was Connecticut from the beginning. I was Connecticut from the beginning. I was with Connecticut from the very first time.
She happy to say she chose the runners up. So she's proud to say I chose the runners up from jump.
The dream was out. The Aces came in.
That's right. That's right. You're right. That's it. That's it. That's exactly right.
I chose the Aces.
I don't blame you.
You said what?
No, I was saying I don't blame her. She was saying when the dream was out, she chose the Aces. So
yeah, that's where we went. That's exactly where we went.
Who'd you go with, Serena?
I chose the Aces just because, they've been having the best record in the league the whole season. So I was like, okay, the Aces are, if I wanted Asia Wilson to win a championship so bad. So shouts to the Aces. I'm so hyped that they won. I chose the Aces.
Okay, so that brings us to Deja. Okay, so Deja, I know you was watching the finals just like everyone else. You actually tweeted out that Becky Hammon is a legend. We, of course, agree. I remember playing against her in the WNBA many years. She gave me many a buckets. I tried to get some stops, but okay, whatever. But just, talk about like, what did you see from her perspective? It was a coaching masterclass put on there. So what did you see, Deja?
Absolutely. Just seeing, the adjustments that she was making in game onto the next game. I think that just saying, she's done a really good job of really bringing these pros together, bringing all of this talent together to be able to make those in-game adjustments and to be able to, for them to be able to execute, I thought was really amazing to see. And just seeing, and also, I grew up watching her playing with the Silver Stars. I'm from San Antonio, so she was one of my favorite players. Yeah, so just being able to see her at the coaching level and doing what she's doing now, I thought was amazing. But I thought she made the perfect adjustments, when she went zone. And her going to a smaller lineup with Connecticut's size. Just think those switch ups, just watching that during the game was like, yeah, she's on it. She's a legend. Y'all don't have to tell her nothing. Y'all can't tell her nothing.
Big facts. Yeah. No, you bring up a good point, because so Connecticut, they made an adjustment after the first two games, and they were like, all right, we're going to go big. We're going to put our Monstars lineup in there. Alyssa Thomas at the 3. Like, what? Yeah, right. And so most coaches might think, okay, they went big, let's match up to match their size. But I like what you said, Deja. You said she went the opposite, which is very different. She went small against their size. And she actually, I saw a quote, she said, look, we might not be able to stop them, but they ain't going to be able to stop us either. So
exactly.
She was right. She was right.
That's a good point.
No, and also what I love about Becky Hammon is that she always preaches. I was watching the whole post-game ceremony and everything, and even the press conferences, like she always preaches, like it's all about the team. I heard her talking about the speech that she gave to them before, I think it was the second half. She said, the reason why you guys haven't won a championship is because what's in here is not coinciding with what's in here. You guys need to look outside of yourselves and look at each other and win for each other. And I feel like it really did look like that. Like all of them seemed like they were playing for everybody else other than themselves. Of course you want to win also, but it gives me goosebumps just even talking about it. Like just that team mentality. It was beautiful to see for sure.
Yeah. So have you been on teams like so for instance, those type of championship teams, like have you been on a team where you just felt like, dang, we're so connected and we're all like together? Like, can you describe what that's like? Because it's hard to explain. Like I've been on teams that's not that, and you can't force that. But I've also been on them teams where it's like, wow, like something's here.
I would say, honestly, the team that I'm on right now. I think us here at UNC, I think we kind of realized that this past year. Freshman year, was very rocky and we weren't that connected. So just to see the difference between freshman year and this past sophomore year, the way that we were connected, the way that we wanted to see each other win and how we competed with each other and just wanted to see each other really be great, and win some games and help each other in that way. I think that showed our connectedness in a way that I've never seen before, honestly. Just being able to play with that and play with teammates like that made the experience a lot more fun, and it makes me even more excited for this upcoming season because, you know, we're returning basically everyone. So
everybody.
Exactly.
Y'all returning everybody, Deja,
Everybody.
okay?
Exactly.
And y'all were already on the map and scary. And so this makes me think of, we know A'ja Wilson, the MVP of this year, the Defensive Player of the Year for this WNBA season. Now, this is a little interesting question. A'ja Wilson is somebody that I highly recognize as having the one leg tights. You or somebody else. Where does that come from, Deja? Like, what about the other leg? It's not cold.
That's
Honestly,
therapeutic, isn't it?
so many people have asked me that, and I honestly can't give them like a real answer. I'm like, why do I do one leg? But I think one day I just tried it, and well, senior year of high school, I had to wear a one leg sleeve just because I had like a little bit like knee issues, but it wasn't like a tight, it was like a legit sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
And it came out good in like the pictures that I got, and I was like,
It was a beautiful accident.
I was like, you know what, this is kind of stylish. So then once I got here, I was like, let me cut the other leg and let me just do one leg real quick, and then it stuck. So now everyone's like, oh my gosh, Deja Kelly, the one leg sleeve, and I'm like, I guess. Yeah.
No, I love that. I love that like
awesome.
players are expressing themselves through their clothes, and it was like, you know, the MVP, she does it. You're one of those ones. And so that brings me to something else, because you see how you was like, I like how it looked. I'm gonna tell you right now, we was good and ugly when I was playing, Deja, okay? Like, y'all could get off the court and walk straight onto a runway, no problem. Like, no problem. Like, what? Like, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but like, when do you think that shift occurred where y'all actually care about how y'all look? Because like I said, Snook, no, I used to get mad when they did my hair. I was like, oh man, I'm trying to hoop. I love it, by the way. Let me add in that I love the what is it called? The revolution. Wait, the revolution.
The
I guess
transition
the evolution?
or the
Evolution. That's
Evolution.
it. I love the evolution of the woman hooper. So like, you are the epitome of that, in a sense of, I know that you're a lot of people's women crush Wednesdays. People, I'm sure you get a lot of invitations for one-on-one playing basketball. Look, talk about it, okay?
No, yeah, I think kind of since I was younger, and I think I blame my mom for how I am, because she always made sure that I didn't have a hair out of place and that I was just very, you know, my hair was always done. She would call it a D1. She would call it a D1 do. So when I was younger, that's what she would, so that's what she would tell me. And when she coached me and my teammates, she said, y'all need to have D1 do's for when you play, because do you want to look like you play D1 or do you want to look crazy and homeless? So
wow. Okay, Mama Dukes.
Yeah, exactly. So
tell
she
your
kind of
mom
got
I
me into
love
that.
her. I love your mom. I absolutely love her.
Renee was not having any parts of that.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I got it. And then I was just like, you know what, my hair will always be done, my nails will always be done. I started getting my lashes done, and I was just like, okay, that's just my look. Like, that's what a lot of people know me for. I'm known for looking very cute on the court. And I just like, I do it for myself. I'm like, I look good on TV, so I'm like, it works.
You know
for me.
what? Speaking, I definitely noticed that watching the game yesterday. Speaking of A'ja Wilson again, I noticed she had blue nail polish.
She had her nails done.
I was like, okay. First of all, I got nails too. I will never be able to play any kind of ball with these nails. I don't know how y'all do it with nails on, but I like, kudos to you guys, because that just makes you guys even more super women than us average women.
Yeah, did you have to learn to shoot with the nails, or is it not a thing, or was that like a process too?
I think so. I mean, I started getting these done when I was like in 8th grade.
So it's nothing.
Right. So I've been playing.
Those are
with them
extensions
for
of
a
her
while.
finger. Yeah, those are her fingers.
Yes.
Those are her
Denise
fingers.
plays with
Exactly.
me.
So everyone asked me that, how do you play with that? And I'm like, I've been doing it for years now. I'm like, and it feels like nothing to me, honestly. So
like, hey, come on, baby. This is what I do.
Just being a woman, you can put nails on and play with nails on if you want.
I was telling you, your niece plays with nails.
Oh, so my niece Pooh Bear, she's a hooper. Like I call it the new H hoopers, y'all. The evolution of the hooper. She is one of y'all. I have a question though. I want to get to some more analyst work because Chelsea Gray, I think it's just what she did. I've played against some of the best of the best. What she did was actually unbelievable. I just want you to talk about what you saw in the finals MVP that also got snubbed from All-Star, and Asia Wilson said, don't do that no more, y'all. So can you just talk about what display Chelsea Gray put on?
That was unreal. I think, and then especially with not being picked as an all-star, it looks like she was playing with a chip on her shoulder, and I don't blame her at all.
Put a chip on my shoulder.
Right, exactly. Like she
put a chip on my shoulder.
Like, y'all are gonna feel me, okay? So I was just to the performance. I mean, averaging 18 and 6 in the finals alone. Like it's like, and just doing things that are unheard of. Like she scored and assisted on 44% of the Aces points in the finals. I mean, in the playoffs. I'm like, how is that? Like, how are y'all not realizing?
I want y'all to understand what Deja just said. Either of the 44% of the points that the Las Vegas Aces scored in the playoffs, like all of it, Chelsea Gray either assisted, which means she passed it to the person that scored, or she scored the points herself on 44%. Like, thank you for that nugget, Deja, because what?
Like that's some great analytics there. Exactly. You don't have to say anything else.
Just making history. Like we literally watched her make history right before our eyes, and I think that was just an excellent performance to watch throughout the whole playoff series. Especially against Seattle, that was unreal. I'm like, and it's surreal because she ended Sue Bird's career, but it's like you can't ignore what Chelsea Gray has did in these playoffs, and for her to come out with MVP, I thought it was only right. Obviously Asia Wilson was very consistent, and that's why she got MVP of the league, obviously. But the performance Chelsea Gray made, and especially when it came down to it, down the stretch, when the lights were bright, she stepped up, and I think that was very noticeable, and
definitely
you can't ignore that at all.
Well, Deja, also, besides Chelsea, we saw some great women's basketball during these playoffs. I mean, Alyssa Thomas, 3-double.
Alyssa Thomas. Let me shout out the first.
First,
Alyssa Thomas got the first ever back-to-back triple-double in the WNBA. Not even in the playoffs, not even in the finals. The first ever back-to-back triple-double, good point, Snookabuka, was Alyssa Thomas for the Connecticut Sun. There was great basketball being played all around. And I love that for us. Like, I love that for your future, Deja Kelly. And I also want to talk about that. College basketball season is right around the corner. We know first night is coming up mid-October. So I want to talk about you and your squad a little bit. What's the feeling like heading back? Y'all are back on campus. School has started. Like, what's the feeling? I know that you're, in preseason workouts, which are the worst. I'm just going to say it for you.
Practice right now, right after we get off of here.
They are, but it's very exciting. Yeah, we're in preseason right now, so that's the conditioning and all that. So
what time y'all waking up?
So we actually never go in the morning.
Oh, amazing.
And I love my coach for that.
Shout out to Coach.
Crazy.
Love that.
Yeah, because our class schedule, and she's not a morning person either, so we're all like, wow, we're so glad you said that.
Wow.
So we do all of our stuff in the afternoon. So we have class usually from 9 to 12, and then we go from 2 to 5 as far as lift and practice and conditioning and all that. Wow. So
and like we call it the sniper. We call it the sniper, but in preseason, a lot of people get caught by you just drop down and fall. And so as y'all's legs, how are your legs feeling? Basically, I'm doing a wellness check on your legs, boo-boo. How are your legs doing?
Well, I have been going to treatment every day, so that kind of that'll explain how my legs are doing. But it's not bad at all. Like we all are we know what the goal is, and we know what it takes to get there. So we're all locked in, especially in this preseason before practice even starts. We know this is where really where you build. So that's what we're really focused on. We're really focused on being in the best shape that we can be to last till March. Our main goal is to perform in Dallas. So we will do whatever it takes, whether that's conditioning till we're tired, till our legs are hurting all day, but because we know in the end it'll pay off. So we're excited. We're really excited for this upcoming season.
And when does the season start, by the way?
Our first game is November 9th. Our first scrimmage is, I believe, October 26th. I believe. So soon. Okay. But first practice starts September 26th. So that's next week. So that is exciting. I know, it's really exciting. It's coming up.
Definitely.
It's coming up soon. It came up fast, so it's exciting.
Love that. And I just want to ask you one more question, because it's not easy to be a leader in sports because there's so many strong personalities. And I know that you're one of the leaders at UNC. So how do you take on that role? What type of leader are you? And like, how do you plan to, you talked about a lot of things y'all learned last year. How do you plan to help implement that for this year?
Yeah, I think this past year I really stepped into kind of that leadership role a little bit. I've always kind of been like the quiet one. I just observe a lot, but I think I knew I really had to take that role on, and just really buying into it, especially this year, knowing that I'm not seen as a little baby sophomore or freshman anymore. I'm seen as I'm seen as an experienced player. I'm a junior now. So old.
Rising senior.
Right. Technically sophomore, COVID sophomore, right? Just really buying into that leadership role and knowing, that I need to keep our team together for us to want to make it to that next level, make it to the Final Four, win a national championship, because that's what I came here to do at the end of the day. So me personally, knowing, like, doing whatever it takes to get there and bringing my team along with me, I think is the most important thing. I mean, even seeing Asia Wilson's leadership with Kelsey Plum, like this thing, like taking nuggets like that, to be able to bring the best out of my teammates, that's really what I'm focusing on this year. And I think I've done a pretty good job so far in preseason, but once game time comes, I think I will definitely be prepared to lead this team.
Well, listen, Deja, we wish you nothing but the best, except for when you play UConn, okay? Because I bleed blue. I know you got to get to practice. So thank you so much. Please come back. Check in with us throughout the season.
Absolutely.
I want to see you be an analyst at all points. So I'm putting it out there because I'm very intentional. So if y'all are listening to this, Deja Kelly, the same way other athletes are being analysts as well as an athlete, we got one right here from. Thank you for joining us on Montgomery & Co.
Thank you so much.
I don't even know how the conversation came up to why he was talking about.
Well, it's funny because, but it's funny because when no one was talking about women's basketball, that's when he was talking about women's basketball.
Well, okay, let me put a caveat asterisk beside that, because it was UConn women's basketball that had like pretty much the whole women's basketball space at that time, and it was kind of this dynamic. But then they just
Pretty girls.
they just attacked Rutgers. I still don't understand what made him say those things.
I don't either. I have no idea how he got to that. Well,
definitely.
Yes, of course that. But it's saying, like, what was the conversation going
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't even know. I just remember that it happened.
He had that one in the barrel. He was ready to shoot that shot. And I don't know why, but he did. But anyway.
So you know what, Cole? That's a good point. D1 dudes might have been a direct result
I'm sure it was.
That situation, because I do honestly remember that a lot of people, the media days and different things of that nature afterwards, like that was a big conversation.
And that was like in 08 or 09, right?
That was like
when y'all were playing.
It had to be
07 or 08.
Okay, so 07 or 08, she was a child.
Yep,
so I'm pretty sure her mother was like, oh, no, honey, we're not going to be that. So that's probably what influenced the D1 dudes. I would love to ask her mother and see if that's where it came from. But to the point of that's where it came from, the D1 dudes. And on top of that, I think it did it for a whole lot of people, like a whole lot of little girls. The parents was like, no, honey, we can't do this. They can do it. It's because even what's funny is even the press conference afterwards, they had the girls on there talk about how they felt when Ima said this. Hair was laid, boy. Their hair was done. See, like that's instantly. What made it even. That's what made it even worse.
2007. Thank you, VP. That's Paul back on the ones and twos. It happened in April 2007. So to your point, Cole, definitely she was a kid then, and I remember there was definitely an emphasis on aesthetics for some people after that.
Absolutely.
Like I can remember definitely a lot of different things trickling out, and to that point, it makes me think about Jonquel Jones, and she tweets a lot about how
looks hindered her,
how looks can affect partnerships, brands, attracting to a player. It doesn't matter how you played. It doesn't matter if you were the MVP of the 2021 season.
Aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. And so that conversation, while it happened in 2007, it still feels like it's a very relevant topic today. I love the evolution of the women's college basketball player though, and the women's player in general. Cause like I said, we was good and ugly, and I was mad when they tried to make me look better.
It was also because I think at that point in time, people wouldn't take girls seriously for playing basketball if they were pretty. And now they've changed it to the point where they're saying, oh, I can be pretty and a threat at the same time. Whereas the coaches wouldn't even, if I want to say that if you walked onto the court with your hair and your nails done, the coach would automatically say, oh, she's not here to play. Yeah, so that mentality had to be changed. And so that mentality was changed when all the girls are pretty and all the girls are coming with their hair, and who you going to eliminate? Now you got to go by who's the best player.
Yeah, Renee actually had a bitty ball coach when she went to the game. He's all girl. She came from the beauty parlor to the gym. He said, "You too pretty to play."
See, exactly. And why would I go from the beauty parlor to the gym? Like, see, that don't even sound right.
It does sound right. It was a weekend. That's what we do. You don't have time during the week to be doing all that. It was a weekend.
We hoop on the weekends.
It don't matter. That was the only free day that you have to get your hair done, because after school you had basketball practice.
Yeah, but I would have rather have opted out of getting the hair done, period. Then I would give me the Monica Lovin basketball ponytail, baby. Okay, it's in there.
I'm sorry, Monica's hair was straight. She had that ponytail in there straight.
No, she only fixed it for prom. Y'all don't remember that scene where they said, we got to get this hair together for prom, girl.
I get what you're saying, but her hair was still, it was an ugly ponytail for her, but it was still a straight ponytail. Your hair wouldn't have been straight, Renee, at all.
I'm not fine with that. Can we understand that? I was fine with it. Y'all know I'm not just capping. I was literally like, I was fine with looking like a ragamuffin. And you going to get them ragamuffins too. I'm going to give you some buckets with it. All right? We was going to play some defense with that hair.
It used to be so funny. Renee would always be up in people's faces guarding them boys. She played on the boys.
There was no such thing as personal space.
And they would be looking at her and her curls would be jumped. And she'd be bouncing all.
It's like, who could take me serious like that? I'm in an all boys league. Come on, man.
It was great. But my point is that I'm pretty sure that D1 dude came from that particular situation. Yeah, so
I was
she was
not
a baby.
getting a D1
she was probably just getting started.
But guess what? She got that D1 scholarship, so go on with that D1 dude.
And she playing with nails. I thought, when I think about nails and girls playing, I think about maybe manicured nails where they have like the gel polish. No.
She said no.
I'm thinking about like gel polish and like some
this
like
is Shayla right here.
Yeah. See, look at mine. I can't hardly. Vance has been talking about how I've been stabbing him to death.
All
with these
y'all
nails.
got white on or white and like?
Yeah, I got like pinkish.
I got like a pinkish white.
It's the fad.
He said they're knobs.
These are utility hands. Like these get a lot done. These hands right here. Thank you. These hands get a lot done. Okay, we write emails.
I still get a lot done with mine, but I don't know if I can be rubbing down the court with mine. I can't rub it down the court with mine.
Can y'all open up a pop can with them nails?
I just did. I did.
Juju actually witnessed this last time for the MoCo live tailgate. I opened up a bottle with my. I took the top off with my mouth because I couldn't do it with my nails, and then he was like, "Ugh, I just threw up in my mouth. Why can't you open it with your nail with your hands?" I said, "Oh my God." He's like, "You should have just given it to me." I'm like, "Juju, it's okay. It's like when we have nails, we can't open everything. We just
not everything can be open."
What? To my friends. No. First of all, let me
He's
explain.
a germaphobe. He might even be a little bit higher than we are.
No. To my defense, Juju, if Juju is right, if I would have gotten it from the store that day, yes. But that bottle's been in our possession for like 2 years. And so I rinsed it off before.
I can attest to
I rinsed it off before.
I can attest to her. Their liquor is going bad in their house. No, Juju. Their liquor is going bad. No, it's going bad in their house. Their liquor is going bad. I went over there and I like Bailey's. And they had a beautiful bottle of Bailey's, right? I like Bailey's. And so I opened the Bailey's. I opened the Bailey's because me and Sam, we had decided, Sam, and Mom was going to have this little cup of Bailey's. It
went bad, literally.
And I turned the Bailey's into the cup and I said, it's clabbered. And then she was like, I think that Bailey's has been here for like 5 years. I'm like,
first of all, I ain't never heard no alcohol going bad. I thought things get better with time. First of all, we got a whole bar at the house.
Yeah, we didn't know that the Bailey's.
They're pouring liquor out over there. They're not pouring it out for the homies. Yeah, it wasn't for the homies. We poured it out because it's going bad in Renee's house. So we go over there. I'm like, y'all got some. She's like, well, let's just make sure. When did we get this? I'm like, oh, we gonna just have to open it up and see.
I thought things get better.
I sleep in the bar room. I have a good time.
Yeah, Snoopy getting in the wine. We got a whole wine section, and Snoopy. I heard no complaints from Snooker.
You ain't told nobody you was in the wine back there.
Oh,
you
you
keep it to
be in the
yourself.
wine.
Yeah, and then she's just recently moved the refrigerator compact back there, so you can actually
she can chill it.
Yeah, you can chill. You can chill back
That's why
there
she always requests to sleep in there. She say, "Hey, we'll stay in this room."
Yes, we're staying in the room with the bar in it.
tipping
Now
and
I'm
tipping.
starting to see. Yeah, so we like to be like hospitality is our thing. So when folks come over, we like to have whatever somebody might drink.
Long
like
story
tequila?
short, I did not
it.
buy that from the store that day, Juju. Okay,
Long
We had that
story
in our
short.
They
bed.
don't have to buy liquor for the next 2 years.
You
I
said
said
what?
they don't have to buy liquor for the next 2 or 3 years because they won't. They don't drink it.
in
They don't
life,
drink
ever
it.
in
And-
life.
probably ever in life. All that
That's why
liquor
you
there?
set up a bar and it takes care of itself after that.
No, it doesn't. Some
But
of
what
that
did you
stuff that's in
say,
there-
Juju, about that water?
Juju, you don't know if I did it with hot water or with soap.
So Juju, let me ask you a question. So you don't drink, like, if you get something from the store, you don't get like, you waterfall. You waterfall.
No, you know
it.
what? I can attest to that. I can attest to that because I remember when we went to Dallas. I mean, it was to Austin with the Dan Le Batard show. You were drinking the beer out of a can with a straw, and I said, "Why do you drink it with a straw?" He said, "I don't like to put my
I
mouth on the
carry
can."
my straw with me. I have a personal when it unfolds and goes into my purse.
Yes, we are observant. He said, like, Jesus, you saw that? It's like,
Well, I'm going to
I
have
asked him
to.
about it. I said, "Why you drinking with a straw?" He said, "Because I don't like to put my mouth on the can."
Well-
I said, "Okay."
Well, I'm gonna hope that whatever liquor I'm drinking is gonna kill whatever germs is floating around. That's
what
the
I'm saying,
point of the
Cole.
liquor. Let the liquor kill the germs.
Cole
That's what I'm
said,
saying.
let it pour out. Let's get it. What up,
Hey, Poo-Poo.
Okay, welcome into Montgomery & Co. You know the family. You are the family. Congratulations on retirement. How does it feel? I know it's fresh. I know it's new. You are on my side now. Welcome to the other side.
I know.
How is it?
It feels great. I'm going a month now straight.
Wow.
And I seriously think this is probably the best time of my life right now. It feels good to like wake up to chaos and not have to worry about, am I not getting a workout in today?
Yep.
What I need to do today to try to stay productive or stay on top of my game without feeling guilty. I seriously roll out of bed, take my nieces and nephews to school, pick them up, and I'm just living the life.
Oh,
Listen,
beautiful.
you hit on something that I can't emphasize enough. So look, I tell people one by one when they see me, because every time people see me like, oh my God, you're so skinny. I'm like, yeah, I don't work out anymore. I don't drink 3 shakes. They don't know how I had to keep on that weight. And so
You?
yeah, you know, so tell me, like, people don't understand that. I'm like, yeah, I don't work out. I wake up stress-free about not having the guilt of not working out to be the top. It's like people don't understand that guilt. If you
the
don't,
guilt, because
yes,
we elite athletes, so we want to stay on top of our game. If we're not getting better, somebody else getting better.
Boom.
And like I tell somebody, I think I told Cheryl this. My biggest thing was not getting embarrassed. So that was my guilt. It's like, oh, they faster, they running faster, they jumping higher. I'm like, I'm not about to get embarrassed, so I got to do this and do that and make sure I'm ready for it when it's come my way. But I'm at that point too. Like, I can recall going into last season, I was like, man, I just need to like bulk up and gain 10 more pounds. And gain 10 pounds, I was like, lose that in 2 months. I was like, I'm not doing this to myself.
Exactly.
So
Right.
the stresses of trying to be in tip-top shape and not having to worry about if somebody else outworking me, definitely the stresses is no longer there.
I'm telling you, like, welcome to the other side. I keep telling people that because we don't know what we don't know. I mean, when did you start playing basketball serious? Because I was playing with the West Virginia Tornadoes. I mean, by 10 and under, we were on circuits. Like, we were traveling around. 12 and under, we were at nationals. So, like, when did it all start for you so people can realize how long you've been doing this?
I'm such a late bloomer. I started around 12. So that was
a
like,
late bloomer.
Yeah, I'm such a late bloomer. I played with
pure
my
athlete.
brothers and them, but let me tell you, my brothers and them was brutal and they did not play fair. So I didn't like basketball because I was not knowledgeable enough about it. But they used to only make me play defense. So I was like, this sport is dumb. I was like, I don't know who wanted to play this sport. It took me to get to middle school, and my middle school counselor / AD hounded me for 2 years and was like, come out and play. And when I went out and played my 8th grade year, I was like, Oh, they've been jipping me the whole
You
time.
found out there were two sides of the ball. So did you thank them for your Defensive Player of the Year awards? Okay, because when I start to think about that, I fast forward to how you play as a human, and it is like defensive monster. So I know you had to thank them for that.
Yes, I do. I do all the time. So I was like, I never was an offensive threat. Like, it took some while to bloom into that. It took a while to bloom into my thing was block shots, get rebound, run the floor. That's it. And so it does plays a big part of like who I am. I'm very defense oriented, and they play a big part in why I am aggressive on the defensive end.
I love that.
My God, that's funny.
And you're a big family person like us. Like that's how we already connected like instantly. First of all, people don't know we came into Minnesota pretty much together. We came into this powerhouse that is Minnesota. We were like the new addition. So it was really like I felt connected to put real quick off top. But talk about like what are you about to be doing after basketball? Because a lot of people are like, oh, what do athletes do after basketball? It has to be coaching, right? And it's like, no, there's a whole world of things that there's a whole world of things that athletes can do post basketball. So what is your focus on your post career?
Giving back. So I just sent Lindsay and Tracy a whole list of the things that I want to do around 3 cities, Miami, Baton Rouge, and Minnesota. Amazing. So I'm doing a lot with biking. With the inner city kids. I'm doing a lot of visiting Children's Hospital. I do like a lot of beanies and stuff like that. So
what do you mean by you do beanies? Like what like
I knit beanies.
Like, I wanted people to know that you I wanted them to know you knit it. Yes, I know you do.
Where's mine?
And I'm very I make sure I get y'all. I'm gonna get y'all.
Thank you. Because I will wear it. You don't know.
Yes. And
I need something to cover.
Too.
I can cover this up.
You some stuff, Nene, so you can see. And so I'm very passionate about kids. So a lot of kids hospitals I plan on visiting. We're doing a lot with Feed the Homeless and stuff like that. I like to be very hands-on, so I don't like just put my name on stuff and not being able to be a part of it. And so now that I actually have the time to like be hands-on and actually be out there doing the service, I'm looking forward to all these little things that I'm doing across these 3 states.
I love that. You said Baton Rouge, Miami. So just so people can know, Baton Rouge, LSU roots. That's where you, Sylvia went to college. I'm just making sure people understand. Yes. Miami is where it all started, okay? Yep. And then Minnesota, obviously, multiple championships in Minnesota, and Lindsay Whalen was our point guard at that time. Now Hall of Famer. Come on with Lindsay Whalen with the Hall of Famer.
Okay, but a lot of people was like, how you and Poopa connect so well? So me and Renee always had this special relationship. When she was in Connecticut, I used to be like, man, I need a point guard like you. You just throw the ball and people go up there.
Hey, go get it.
Everybody likes so easy. And I was like, I can't wait to play with you one day. And then it flourished.
Like, and we didn't even plan it. It was just like life happened. And then when we connected, what was I doing? I was throwing that thing up there.
And Sylvia was going up there.
She wasn't even looking at me half the time. She was like, Poopa, go get it.
So everybody on here probably already knows this, but you guys both call each other Put. I thought that Renee only called you Put.
Oh, no.
So wait, how did that come about? That whole nickname?
Oh, my God.
I think because we both like giving each other names.
Yes.
Like, we see each other. We never call nobody by their real name.
No.
Like, government names is non-existent with me and Renee. So we always give each other nicknames. Yeah. And so one day she was like, Put. I was like, hey, Put.
Yeah, we just literally
was like, that's my Put.
And I started
just
calling
like
her Put because it was like, okay, people see Sylvia and they see the monster blocker and the everything that she is. And I think she's the sweetest thing ever. So she's sweet. You know, some people say sweet as pie. Pudding can be sweet too. So I was like, yo, like that's Put. And so like she said, I do a lot of nicknames. She does a lot of nicknames. And we was walking around calling each other that, and everybody like, oh, God, here they go.
I don't know who was worse, me? Because I was like, she was like, my bad. I was like, it's okay, Put. Okay. So I had Renee around there calling me Put, and then Lindsay Whalen around there calling me Booski.
What is your name?
Right. But you know what, though? On the court, it worked out well because I'm like, this was for Put. This was for Put. The other team ain't have a clue what was going on. They ain't know.
No clue.
That's a good tactic. That's a good tactic.
No clue. Renee is all about tactics. This is why I love her. Like Renee can have a whole conversation with you and everybody be looking like, well, I'm like, You don't know. You're not in the circle.
And they know, and Put know exactly what I was talking about too. So it'd be like we could communicate freely. I want to also, so when we were playing together, you were in school studying. A lot of people don't know that you was like on top of her being like MVP and all of these other things that she was while I was playing with her in Minnesota. You were in school, Put. How is that going? Where are we with it?
So school is done. I'm getting ready for national boards.
Congrats.
So I've been prolonging national boards till I actually stopped playing.
Wow.
And so that's what I'm looking forward to. So I'm two things that I'm really, really looking forward to. Taking national boards and having kids. And so that will come.
Come on,
I was excited.
Wait a minute.
A little Put.
Because I was like, you know how we are about the babies. First of all, I'm gonna have to make a trip once the baby.
I'm looking forward to those two things.
Wow. Okay, sorry, we got sidetracked when you said kids, and so is there a timeline? Like, am I the aunt? What's up? Like, I'm just trying to.
She said,
because I love you, and they'll already love your baby.
No, you got to be the godmother.
No, you got to save that for the, like I ain't gonna just.
You're saying she family. She wants to be the aunt. She lets
It's no timeline. Actually, everything is in the works. I want to say in 2014, I took the step to retrieve my eggs after I had my hip replaced, and so I was just like, you know what? 30-year-old eggs is way better than 36-year-old eggs, so let me just do that now. And so I took them out then, but actually everything is in the process now. So it can be any day I can just pop up and be like, yo.
It's time.
It's time.
I love that for you.
So you've always wanted to have children.
How many? How many?
You know
Is the
how
question.
some
How
people
many?
fantasize about getting married? As a kid, I fantasized about having multiple kids.
Wow.
How many? How many? How many?
You come from a big family, so.
Yes, we're huge. It's 5 of us, and I have 14 nieces and nephews without me having kids.
Wow.
So y'all gonna be a beautiful big family. You want a lot, a little? What you thinking?
Oh, no, I need a whole starting 5.
Listen. LSU, UConn, UNC, Stanford.
She went by 3 on 3 to 5.
Yeah, she will vibe. She was straight fine.
On by 3 on 3.
So, I'm just saying, we got eggs, and none of those eggs is going to waste.
Okay,
that's
I love
right.
that. I love that, Put. So what else? Like, what else? I love that it, like, talking to you right now, it just feels like you have your life ahead of you. And I hope that people hear that as well, because once we finish our first career, we'll call it that, which is sports and whatever sports you play.
Right.
A lot of athletes have a lot of things that they want to do. We've just heard you now. You're hands-on.
Right.
You want to be at the children's hospitals. You knit. You do different things.
And you're still very young. 36.
And you're still young. Don't let sports.
Very much so.
Listen, once you get from the other side, you start to realize they call us old.
Once you get from the other side.
They call you
But
old.
You know what? I think it's special about you and I, Renee, because we actually stepped out on our own terms.
Yeah.
I think it's harder for people who really don't want to step away but have to step away.
Yeah.
We already had our life planned out of what we wanted to look like over the next 10 years. And so I think it just makes that transition much, much easier for someone like you and I. But this is going smoother than I thought it would. I didn't think it was going to be hard.
Just say thank you, Jesus, and go head on, baby. Yeah. Just say thank you, Jesus, and go head on. Don't worry about it. Don't even think about it.
Like, you know what? I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm happy for that chapter of my journey, but it's definitely more to Sylvia than besides the basketball part.
I know, that's right.
I'm happy to embark on everything that's coming my way.
Wow.
It always has been. You can always tell, people who have personality, you have a personality plus. And so you know that the future is completely open to people like you, because you're so versatile in being able to, like you said, you focused on this, you accomplished and you dominated this, and now you're like, okay, I want to do this, and now I'm going to do this. But your personality is beautiful, so you was always going to be good.
From day one that I saw you. Even before I met you on TV, watching you down at LSU.
Yeah, because we done had some battles now.
Yeah, I checked you out. So I like Sylvia. Oh, just sweet as she can be. You can tell your body language and how you interact with other players. Because, as I said, a person who is, in your position or your size, usually, you think about those people and they're really some kind of like brutish or, bullyish or whatever. Never saw that with you.
The sweetest thing ever.
Never saw it.
And so I wanted to ask you a little bit about, okay, this was your final season playing in the WNBA, but we were going to give you your flowers, obviously, by the way. So you're going to take all of these flowers.
Yes.
I'm about to do it. So prepare yourself, because I know you're like me and you don't like it, but I want to talk a little bit about Sylvia Fowles, the athlete, but now we hear that she's blossoming. But Sylvia Fowles, the athlete, I played against you at LSU, excellence. Chicago Sky, before you even won championships, was the best big in the game, period, bar none. Olympic gold medalist. Then happened to come on over to Minnesota, where we linked up and got a couple of championships. Just from looking at your career, defensive player of the year, let me just also add in the individual accolades. You've pretty much done a little bit of everything. So
All-star.
as you look back at your career, like, what are just your thoughts as a whole? Like, just where you thought it was going to go? I mean, this is one of those big questions, but it's just like, I mean, somebody like you, I say it all the time when I can, but if it's possible that you're underrated, I think you're underrated, because I think that you're that good of a player. And so I'm going to make sure that we mention it amongst the greats. Sylvia Fowles' name is there. This is a future Hall of Famer. It's there.
Yes.
First ballot.
Yes.
It's there. Sylvia
Yes.
Fowles. I don't even usually call you that. I'm making sure people know your
I
name.
know. I'm like, this is so weird.
Okay, I'm saying her name. I'm making sure y'all know who I'm talking about. That's that girl right there. Like, that's what's up. I just want, like, what is your thoughts now that your career, you know, you've had a little bit of time to think? Like, what are your thoughts on your career?
I can definitely say that I'm beyond blessed. Coming into this thing, I never thought I would flourish as much as I did. I wasn't looking to be All-American, full-time Olympian, defense player. I wasn't looking forward to none of those things. I think my mindset was, how can I be the best version of me? And that's pushing myself every year, learning new things. And everything just pretty much fell into my favor. And so I think me just working hard was the overall picture of what everybody gets to see today. I never wanted to be one of those players, but I did know that I knew I wanted to go down as one of the hardest working people you probably ever meet. And that's something that I can credit myself off, hands down. And so if I'm not happy about anything else, I'm happy about being consistent as Sylvia Fowles, the person, and also like working hard to achieve everything that came my way.
Wow.
Wonderful.
I mean, first of all, yeah, okay, you know all about this. And I want to just double down on that, because you learn how to work hard at a lot of places. And so in Minnesota, when you play for the Minnesota Lynx, you have no choice but to work hard. I want y'all to understand that before practice, there were individual workouts that I would actually participate in hers, because it was a show. Like, this is the thing. It's like, she's so talented and so athletic. It was like we all wanted to watch her work out. I want y'all to really understand.
She was the worst, by the way.
I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
Be
I didn't
there,
know her
but she
these
came
days.
in every morning to make my life miserable.
Listen, I came in early to be there for her workouts, for sure.
And then jump in and smack people. And just like, I'm like, then they started incorporating into my workouts. I'm like, no.
Because she would still make the layup. So I thought it was incredible that I could hit her, and she just finishes everything. You know what I'm saying? She taking me with her to the basket. So then they started letting me be a part of the workouts and be like, hit her, Renee.
When did we start incorporating their name in my workouts? It's called big workouts, not big in the Renee workouts.
I'm trying to tell you, but the point I was trying to make is that she would do those monster workouts, with me included, before practice. Then she would do a full-on practice. And when I say a full-on practice, it means like our teams, like we had a good starting five, which Pupa was in, and then we had a good second five. So we would battle it out every single day. So she would battle it out, and then after practice, she was back at it again, Daniel. I'm sorry, because it was crazy to see just that amount of athleticism and power, and she just kept going. Like, it was just, she didn't stop. So
we didn't know no better.
We didn't.
We didn't know no better. It's like AAU playing 6 games in one day. It's like, we didn't know no better.
Facts. And we was good and ugly when we played. I was just telling Deja Kelly, we was good and ugly. I didn't worry about I'll say it for myself. Let me not call everybody else ugly. I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't care what I looked like when I was playing AAU.
I mean, I credit these people. Girl, I look at some pictures, side ponytail with a thing. Like, who let me go out here looking like this? Like, why?
Like, that's a whole second effort that we wasn't doing. But if you wanted to pride yourself on being one of the hardest workers coworkers ever. Coming
You
from
did
somebody that I prided myself in that as well. I wanted to be professional all the time. You did that. Like
Thank you.
I thought it was incredible that you could keep going. Listen, this woman would get surgery, come back. I think one time you got your wisdom teeth taken out, and then you was back in practice the next day, and everybody was like, sit down somewhere. Like, we had to literally
I
tell
don't
her.
know how to sit down. That's my biggest problem too. Like, it got to the point that was like, well, when did you get hurt? I'm like, a month ago. Well, why didn't you say anything?
Thank
I want to
you.
keep playing.
You guys are the same person.
Yeah, she's exactly me in a smaller version. This is why we connect so well.
Literally.
Understand.
Literally, we don't like to complain. Like, we are very similar cloth in the sense of we gonna be on time, we gonna work hard, we're gonna do our job, and we're not gonna complain. Like,
So is that like a Minnesota thing? Or is that like
Nah,
just
I
other-
think-
No, that happened way
it just
before
come
Minnesota.
It comes with good parents. That's what it is. It comes with like a
Well,
good foundation.
thank you.
Because when you can have fun and be yourself within a household, it kind of just like transfer over. Like, we got some teammates that was very square, didn't say much. I'm just like, you're not gonna stop me from acting stupid. You're not gonna stop me from doing something you got to deal with.
That's a fact though. But you know what? To that point though, we had a lot of fun, but we also knew when it was time to turn up. So I think that's the thing. We had that balance of we gonna have fun and we gonna work hard and turn up at the same time.
Exactly.
And so we had that. That's true. There's a balance there of that. One last thing. Any regrets? Anything that you would want to do differently? Anything like that? Like, for me, I'm like, I was happy. Like, a lot of people thought that I would have regrets about leaving Minnesota when I did, in a sense of to come to Atlanta. A lot of people, by the way, put said we probably could have won multiple years, had like a lot of people stayed there. So for me, I don't necessarily have a regret leaving Minnesota, but if there was one, like, I wish that I would have loved to see how long, if we stayed together as our group, that could have been dope. Like, I don't know how. Look, I mean, I'm looking at you like, why you broke something? I'm sorry, but I do think
all I'm
that we had
saying
a
is
very
I
special
needed
group.
a point guard, and Poopa just left me on dry.
Yeah.
But we're gonna talk about that a different day.
We're gonna talk about that in different.
Right. It's like, but just for you and your career, I mean, I would think nothing but, you know, is there anything as you look back that you're like, man, that only thing is the only thing, or I don't know, is there?
No.
I love it. I was hoping you would say that. So
Nah.
you need to go.
I have no regret.
I already had a something ready to say. So if you said yes, it was going to take that away. But I'm hoping that now in your post sports career that you could just live it freely. You know, like, I think people don't understand. Athletes, there's a lot of pressure on athletes, like every single day, in season, out of season, post game. Like, if you have a game, there's a lot of stress that comes along with that. If you don't play well, you're trying to play your best for your teammates. So I want to congratulate you on peace, baby. Okay,
Yes.
have a
Thank
little
you.
Many
peace
blessings.
post career of
I sure
basketball.
will.
Huh?
I sure will.
Say, God, tell me twice.
You ain't gotta tell me twice.
And then
Don't-
one last thing. You were studying to be a mortician, correct?
Yes.
Are you gonna, like, what's up with that? Are you gonna have your own spot? Like, what Snook? I want to tell you something that's uncomfortable.
Listen.
Before you came on there, Snook said, "Can I ask her? Can she handle my body when I'm gone?" I said,
Got you covered.
I already
Got
talked
you
with her
covered.
about it.
Just
See?
let me know what you need. I
Oh,
got you.
"We gonna let you know,
Lord.
Put. We gonna have to let you know."
I'm sure she's planning ahead. She got stuff figured out. She knows what she wants.
God,
But yes,
you
at
know,
some point I would love to own my own funeral home. Right now I'm in a good position. I got 2 offers here, which I probably won't make any decisions to probably after January, because I just want to smooth sail and let everything play out the way I want it to play out. But yeah, eventually I want to own my own funeral home. That's the goal.
Wow.
And
Well,
you're such a
everybody's gonna
great
be dying to
people
get there.
person.
I can tell you that.
Renee. I knew you was going to drop that
Had a pun.
dime.
You know she was coming with a pun.
I'll be dying to get there, Sylvia.
Renee, Mom, could you please?
It's got to be something with Renee, because one of my my athletic directors back at LSU, her name is Renee, and then she told me that people gonna be dying to see me.
Oh my gosh.
Papa, we love you, man.
Enjoy
your
your
basketball career. We thank you for joining us here on Montgomery and Company, and you family, man. We love you, man.
Yes,
love
and
you
now
guys
that you
too.
got your time off, you can come back at any time.
Oh,
Boy,
you got time, and y'all too. Miami,
Yeah, you got to
Island.
come back
Listen,
anytime.
welcome to Miami, Buenvenido. Ami.
Hey.
Love Retarded Friends is based down there in Miami, so we really might have to come through.
Yes.
We
Yes.
love you, Pub, man. Thank you for joining
I
us.
love y'all
Thank
too.
you.
Thank
Good
you. Love you.
luck,
Love
and God
you. Love you.
bless you. I know
Blessings.
you're going to
Thank you,
have a
Mom.
great rest of your life. God bless you.